When you network, does your little mini one-liner connect with people? Does it spark an interest enough for them to continue the conversation? Or do they just nod, say, that's very nice, and walk away? Sometimes your mini presentation might even burn bridges. So if you're tired of that worn out elevator pitch, and you feel like you're never going anywhere, but you need to spark others and their interest in your business and what you do and how you serve, then I want you to think about this. How many times a day are you expected to share that one-liner? Are you at BNI? Are you at networking events? Are you at the Chamber of Commerce? Are you at a convention? Where mostly what you're doing is cold outreach. And that outreach is where you have to get to people pretty quickly. But that old elevator pitch is just not working. This is your time to be brilliant and show others your uniqueness. It's your opportunity to become memorable in a nanosecond. So networking Zooms, mastermind meetings, grocery lines, elevators, any place where you are using a short introduction for yourself, you want to think about how you can deliver this. You want it to be as memorable as a TED Talk. So people will remember you, like you, trust you, or at least start to trust you, and maybe refer you all in one breath. That's a pretty outrageous expectation off of an elevator pitch. But let me ask you, are you living with the thought that if I just get the right elevator pitch, I'll be in a great position to capture everyone's attention? Well, let's turn the game around. I've never used an elevator pitch that got me anywhere. I want you to be able to have an experience when you deliver who you are, your presentation of yourself. I want you to be memorable. It needs to be clear, and it needs to really let people understand who you are. So the way elevator pitches are made right now, 90% of the elevator pitches close conversations. They stop. So they're supposed to open doors. So you want to leave an impression. You don't want to leave an impression that is as flat as a balloon. So let's say a stranger tells you, I help small business owners scale their social selling with aligned strategies and strategic solutions. Cool. Did that trip your trigger? Did anything motivate you to want to know more about that person? Did you even know how to ask a question back to them so that you could get more information? If you didn't feel moved, then it was not what you wanted to deliver. So let's look at something new for you. It's a way for you to be more memorable. Drop the term elevator pitch. Drop the thought about an elevator pitch. Drop the I help phrases. And let's call this the Spark Pulse. Yep, this is the sales pulse conversation. Well, now we're going to go to the spark that will initiate all of your sales conversations. This is the Spark Pulse. So you need something to stimulate conversations with people you know and even people you don't know, people that you've just met. You need something to attract the attention of people to have a conversation with you, no matter where you are. If you are in business for yourself, then the Spark Pulse is something that you need. And you don't want to generate an elevator moment. You want to generate a rhythm and a conversation. So all conversations with potential clients need some stimulation to have them want to stay engaged with you. And elevator pitches are nothing about engagement. You want the person in front of you to feel interested, to feel curiosity, and to really look forward to listening to you. So when you introduce yourself, let's not talk about your job title or your niche. Let's not talk about any polished pitches you have. Let's talk about getting people to the point where they say, wait, tell me more. Why? Because it hits different. It feels human. You want your sales pulse to create energy. So let's look at this one. I work with business owners who love what they do, but hate selling it. You think you can stimulate a conversation? How many people would probably say to you, oh my gosh, I know what you mean. I do my job really well, but getting out there and talking to people is really tough. Well, do you think there's an opportunity for a conversation after that, at least for me? Yeah. How about if I said I show people how to sell without sounding like a sales rep? Well, if I was talking with sales reps, do you think a few might at least ask a couple questions? Because a lot of people have this issue in their head that they don't want to sound salesy. Now, we're all in sales from the day we get born, and we get the attention of our parents because we need a diaper change or we need a bottle, but people don't see that as selling. But in today's world, you want something that's going to get more attention, make the conversation easy, and have the doors just swing open. What about someone who says, I'm a stand for the people who freeze during their elevator pitch and vowed to get out of sales forever? Is that a moving statement? Now that gets people's attention, but you have to have the right audience in front of you. So those were 3 variations of a possibility of the sales pulse for the same person. You want your introduction to leave a trace. You don't want it to be blurred and have people go, do I want to talk with that person again? I don't know. So one of my clients is pretty brilliant. She's smart, skilled, certified up to the eyeballs. But when people ask, what do you do? She goes blank or rattles off something that gets no response. People just go, Here's the spark pulse we crafted for her. Instead of saying, I'm a certified life coach specializing in transformation and goal clarity, she started saying, I work with coaches who are great at helping others, but get stuck selling themselves. Big difference. Boom, spark, clarity. Do you think she got a lot of attention? She sure did. She got attention and she got a conversation. And that's what it takes every time for us to get into sales. We don't have to tell people what we do. We have to tell them how we serve. So you don't need to be clever. You don't need to be clear. You don't need to be polished. But you do want to spark something in others to play with you. So here's the formula you need. Write it down. So you say, I work with, or you can have any other adjective in there. I recommend you leave the word help out because help is overused. I think it's turning people's hearing off. So if you say, I work with, and then you fill in the blank, type of person. And then you say, who has this frustration or fear? That's in another bracket. Because they're ready for, what is it the feeling they want or the result they want instead of where they are now? So it has to have those 3 things: the type of person, the frustration or fear, and the feeling they want instead. Let's go back to the example we used before. I work with coaches, that was the first blank, who are great at helping others. That was a little bit of an additional description that was very necessary, but get stuck selling themselves. That's their frustration. All 3 characteristics are in there. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but there's 2 results you are looking for when you have a spark pulse. You want someone to say, oh, they're talking about me. And you want that person to respond to you with more curiosity. So here's your challenge this week. Write your new spark pulse introduction this week and post it somewhere and see what happens. I had a client do this last week. She posted in her Facebook bio, and she had someone connect her within 6 hours of changing the content. It works. She created a conversation just by changing that bio on her Facebook using this formula. So don't worry about creating it. Just try it again and again. And if it sounds flat, try it again. When things don't work out, it just means it's another opportunity to edit. If it sparks something, you're getting closer. Get your spark pulse and be sure to share it with me in your comments after you subscribe to this channel.